Okay, so yeah, the kind of what we're presenting today is why smart company cards are the new key to success for finance. There's a lot of corporate cards out there, and you know, you have a few in Europe, like just various MasterCard and Visa kind of partners. You have, and then in the US, people use their bank cards, they use Amex cards, and with a lot of fintech innovation, cards are becoming more intelligent, and so we're going to talk about that a bit here. So number one thing I want to go through is just the high level trends that exist in spend management today and in payments as a whole. So the number one piece is that expense reports are becoming obsolete. The way that people managed company spend for a very long time has been via, expense reports, whether that's using an Excel file, or even before that, it was just through paper, or whether that kind of came up to some of the tools like Concur and Expensify that were kind of doing expense reports. This kind of paradigm of managing spend is becoming obsolete, and the reasons for that I'll go into. But as a whole, when we take a step back and look at this, we think of expense reports as kind of the that's just how it is. It's just what you have to do. But there's a lot of issues involved with expense reports. I mean, I've felt them myself as an employee of various companies. So, when you look at the data, processing a single expense reports can take 20 minutes. I don't know. For me, it's definitely taken longer than that, and it can cost companies significant money in terms of time that their employees are spending on their non-core functions, right? And then when you kind of dive deeper, you realize that 20% of expense reports contain errors, and then that creates a lot of back and forth, right? Okay, there's a problem in the expense report. The accounting team, the finance team, they see it, they have to flag it. They have to go back to the employee and say, hey, this was wrong. Can you resubmit? And it's just a lot of this kind of back and forth that wastes everyone's time, honestly. And then the other piece is expense reimbursements are the third most common type of occupational fraud in the US. So, definitely it is a source for fraud in various areas. And then the last piece, 1 out of 4 employees, this is based on some GBTA research, almost 1 in 4 employees have postponed or canceled a meeting in order to avoid having to pay with their personal card. And, this is something that we don't talk about too much, but, having employees front their money for the company can sometimes be an issue. So, and just to go a little deeper in here and into spend management as a whole, and not just expense reports, but when you look at companies managing their spend, whether it's travel spend, whether it's like, on the road spend, whether it's, software subscriptions and, office parties and work from home expenses and all, there's so much that companies spend on, but there's issues kind of with all three, there are 3 major issues that kind of come up with all this stuff. So number one, reconciliation and closing the books can be a very manual process. Accounting teams typically spend a lot of hours every month, approving transactions, let's say, or reconciling spend every month, or making sure everything's flowing to the ERP correctly. There's a lot of areas where you have teams that are doing a ton of manual work. The second piece, like I mentioned, is paying for expenses. Then getting reimbursement is a hassle for employees. And employees should be focused on their core job and having to front personal dollars, essentially lend the company money with personal money, and then wait to, go through, fill out an expense report, wait to get reimbursed. It is definitely an inefficient process for employees and for accounting and finance. And then last but not least, this is a really big one. I actually come from the finance world, and I've always been amazed at the fact that basically finance teams are flying blind in a lot of situations, because we all know people don't submit expense reports the second they incur an expense, right? It happens usually, 30, 60, 90 or more days later. So when you're financed throughout the month, you have no idea what's being spent until the report has been submitted, it's been approved, it's been coded, all those things. And that's kind of one, the big cherry on top for the pain that a lot of people are seeing with spend management. And luckily, with a lot of the innovations in fintech, this is changing. So yeah, I also wanted to talk a bit about how COVID had, and I mean, not just COVID, but just how the world is shifting in terms of how people work. Obviously, COVID accelerated a lot of this and changed a lot of this. But there's a few major things going on here. So number one, more employees are making spend decisions on behalf of the company. The approval processes, they tend to be slightly less rigid than they were in the past. There's more of a responsibility put on employees, and that's a big piece. The second part is companies are hiring remote employees all over the world. I mean, we have people on this webinar in Europe, we have people in the US, I'm sure we have people elsewhere. And, with COVID in particular, hiring became more global and companies became more global. So the ability to support a company's spend globally, with card issuing, reimbursements, all of the things that kind of go along with that is really important. So these last two here on the right kind of go hand in hand, but employers do want their employees to have responsibility and they do want them to be able to spend, but they don't want to lose the control and visibility that's obviously extremely important. So with that, companies need the ability to kind of reduce the friction for spend while also making sure that again, things are controlled and that things are flowing to their accounting software correctly. So to go into this corporate card thing, so a lot of the issues I mentioned have to do with the classic setup of an employee fronting their own dollars, then getting reimbursed, right? There's a reason we've had to do it that way. And it's because you can't give a corporate card to every employee. And that's in the past, if you just gave a corporate card to every employee, it was probably not the best idea because people can just go out and kind of spend on whatever they want on the company dime, right? There's not much accountability, visibility. There's basically no controls you can really put on the cards. And then even then, when someone incurs an expense, there's very little context into what that expense was for. And, that's the past. And now we've moved to a situation that I'll go through on the next slide here, where cards are really intelligent. So we'll go through the benefits of modern corporate cards.